Hello, guys. I'm again here, and I'm again with English. And guys, it's for free. You shouldn't pay something. And I try to create something interesting for you, for people who want to learn English effectively, interestingly, and create certain interaction. And what we will do today. Today we will talk about a certain story. This story is about two young fellow. We will not talk like separate from story, talk about these two fellow, one lady and one gentleman, um, this protagonist, but how our project, how our podcast would be created. We started we started with a story. After it, we will talk about protagonists in the story and after the story. Also, we will underline important quotes and expression, and also will put attention to underline some of the things what author, what made this author like identical from ours, because every person have their identical things, and writing or listening to him you can recollect who it was. After it, I will share my own thoughts based on this story, and it will be like why I appreciate this story, this short story with short story, but very meaningful. Okay, I would like to create a certain game at first. I would like so you assume about what author and about what story we will be talking about. That's why, before we begin, I would like you to think for a moment and try to guess what story and which author we were going to talk about today. I will give you a few hints. First, he was an American author. He was an American writer. He mostly wrote short stories. Also, his real name was William Sidney Porter. And the last one, but not least, while in prison in the year 1900, he decided to choose a pen name. In order so people, when they would write it, not create or judge a person by where he was stay or just like that. Okay, let's start with a story. Before me, I see a screen, but I would not like read this story because you can search it in the internet and read it by yourself. But I will retell the story from my version. I would, guys, I wouldn't fix any things from original, but it would be my version. I absolutely sure that this story would be a great story for people who learn English because a lot of expression, a lot of collocation, a lot of useful vocabulary, and I would also, um, when I would read important thing, I would interrupt myself and explain what author or what the meaning of these words. Okay, let's move on because already 4 minutes. And yeah, what's you can put in a pause and guess what story it is and what author. Okay, I will wait for a second if you not put in a pause. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This story, The Gift of the Magi, or Henry. You know, guys? Again, we know. Okay. $1.87. Yeah, this story started with $1.87. 60 cents of it were in pennies. Pennies saved one and two at a time, by bulldozing the grocer, the vegetable man, and the butcher, till one's cheek spun with silent imputation of parsimony. With silent imputation of parsimony. And Tella counted it twice. And the next day, because $1.87, she tried to recalculate this amount of money, and if it's really $1.87, maybe there were some rest. Maybe the grocer or the vegetable man or the butcher would give certain pennies, but it didn't happen. And the next day would be Christmas Eve, and what can you do with $1.87? Practically nothing. But we will read till the end, and we will figure it out how Della, it's like a girl, a lady, would fix it. And yeah, okay. And bulldozing. Okay, I don't know, in the end, try to explain every word, or when I read it. Okay, bulldozing. What I mean under bulldozing? It's like bulldoze. I will translate some words in Russia. It's like bulldoze. You can, if we talk about Russia, как бульдозер. То есть она, то есть сносила все, то есть ей было все равно. Она старалась одним или двумя пенями вот этими за раз, старалась как бы их, то есть выпросить, то есть даются сдачу, иногда эту сдачу оставляют, а она старалась как бы ее пересчитать, пересмотреть. То есть до того момента, пока то есть till one's cheeks burn with silent imputation of parsimony. Пока щеки не зажглись безмолвным обвинением скупости. Да, звучит как-то странно, но поэтому лучше переводить именно в контексте. Till one's cheeks burn with silent imputation of parsimony. And what Della can do? She move yourself away from this place. Probably it's a vegetable market. And Della came back home. And there was nothing left to do except one thing: to flop down, like not lie in bed, but flop. It means that not with slow motion, but very harsh, very fast movement. It's like a big V on her shoulder. And yet she flopped down on a little shabby couch and howl. То есть как бы завыла вот этот howl from her breast. But which instigates the moral reflection that life is made up of sobs, sniffles, and smiles, with sniffles predominating. Which instigates, то есть побудила, instigate the moral reflection. Reflect. You know the words in Russia like рефлексировать. То есть, когда что-то происходит, и ты думаешь, правильно ты это сделал, неправильно. То есть, это побудило moral values, moral reflection, то есть к моральным размышлениям. Вот life is made up. То есть, это как бы к выводу, к такому как бы привело ее к тому, что жизнь сделана из life is made up of sobs, sniffles, то есть из sobs это слез, sniffles это прихлюпываний, and smiles, то есть улыбок. With sniffles predominating. Sniffles с прихлюпываниями predominating, то есть dominate, доминировать. Ребятки, если вы учите английский, я вам стараюсь, это очень важно, то есть вот недавно даже слушал лекцию по психологии. Очень важно, вот у вас, допустим, есть слова, да, выражения. Старайтесь к этим словам подбирать определенные или картинки, или чтобы у вас вырисовывался образ, который относится к этой или иной картинке. Тогда у вас будет отличное запоминание. То есть очень много важных слов, которые их не обязательно зазубривать. Нет, не надо. Зачем зазубривать? Читайте тексты, старайтесь соотнести их с другими языками. То есть вот, сами видите, which instigate, ну хорошо, побудил. Moral reflection, то есть моральному заключению. Моральный life is made up of subs, sniffles and smiles, with sniffles predominating. Okay, let's move on. I would like to say something important, but forget. It slip. Yeah, it slipped into my mind. Maybe it would flow away and would be on the surface, but who knows? Yeah, it came into my mind. It came on the surface. Yeah. About what I would like to talk about. You shouldn't, you shouldn't pay attention to grammar like to creep it as powerful as you can. Like, no, you need to know grammar structure and all of these things, how to create affirmation, how to create how to question, how to express your feeling. But guys, if we talk about people who for whom English like a native language, they don't pay attention. We don't pay attention to these things. And sometimes people from this area can say, man, just relax, just chill out, just put it off, express your feeling and emotion like free, without any, oh my gosh, I'm afraid of mistakes, I'm afraid. Mistakes is an important key to success. Without mistakes, you would not get progress, and without progress, you would not have success. It's like a cycle. It works in any other occupation, in any other activity. Don't listen to person from school, because sometimes teachers like, man, we listened it before. Why you can say like I said it before? No, it didn't work in this way. The more you practice, the simple it would be. It like a rule of thumb. Rule of thumb — это как общее правило. A rule of thumb, a general rule of Kittel. Поэтому, ребята, когда вот американцы и британцы, они более такие как бы аккуратные, то есть они никогда не скажут, что вот у тебя плохая лексика или там еще что-то. Они скажут, допустим, если ты им дашь книгу, они могут тебе сказать, это потом, это даже встретится у нас в произведении. То есть они никогда не скажут, типа, что книга неинтересная, или они скажут, it's a strange feeling. И ты как бы, это интересно или нет? Это скучно или весело? Ты такой, то есть могут выкрутиться. Так же самое вам нужно. А про американцев я вообще молчу. То есть британцы, они как более gentleman, gentle lady, gentlewoman. А американцы, они, то есть не обязательно, я ни в коем случае не говорю, что вот там американцы неграмотные. Нет. Просто они выражаются очень просто. Иногда для них даже сложно говорить с нами, потому что мы там стараемся что-то заучить. То есть они не прямо поглощены вот в это, как составлять вопрос, там, вот это тут. Нет, они могут спросить, what's happening, man? Are you sad? We can express a big question in a word. It means that proficiency and advanced level of English, it's not about how hard you express in order to other people will not understand you. It's like how can you be flexible and to adapt your own speech by different people, like from simple level, from low level to advanced, to proficiency, to like high level, like science topic, like thoughtful meaning, and yeah. Okay, guys, don't kill me with. I will continue. I will continue to express. And yeah, while the mistress of the home is gradually subsiding from the first stage to the second, take a look at the home. A furnished flat at $8 per week. It didn't exactly beggar mannequin description, but it certainly had the words on the lookout for the mannequin's squad. Let's figure it out. Many important things. But I would, after I share this video, I would also put all of the script, vocabulary on all of these things in order to you not only listen but also watch. It's really important because 80% of information we go through our eyes. While the mistress это, то есть хозяйка дома, while the mistress of the home is gradually subsiding, it's like a grade, оценка, то есть from beginner to high level, it's gradually subsiding. Субсидия, то есть у нас есть слово субсидии, которые на дне, и это как бы поднималось, it's gradually subsiding from the first stage to the second. А stage мы уже говорили, то есть у нас есть subs, sniffles and smiles. Subs is the first stage, sniffles is the second stage, and the smiles is the first stage. And you like, it means that this mistress is gradually subsiding from the first stage, from subs to sniffles. Take a look at the home. Furnished flat, furnished, то есть слово furnish это мебель у нас, furnished, то есть хорошо обставлено. $8 per week. $8 per week. per week. You can say every week, but you can say per week. То есть в неделю. It didn't exactly beggar. Beggar mannequin description. То есть это не была это не была нищенская комната. But it certainly had the words on the lookout for the mannequins squad. То есть если у нас mannequin description, beggar description, это у нас нищенская. То есть если мы говорим mannequins squad, it's like you talk about team, if you talk about sports, in any other occupation there is a squad. There's mannequins squad, people who is responsible for this beggar furnish, for this beggar flat. It means they have a paper where was written all the people who will live there in this flat, and yeah, they can try to figure out what's happening in this apartment, in this pair. In the vestibule below was three things: letterbox, electric button, and a card with a name. Letterbox. Letterbox in which no letter would go. Electric button from which no mortal fingers could coax a ring. And a card with a name. A card with a name, like a card, like a box, like a spare. Also, a botanic veranda, there was a card with a name, yeah, I said it, Mr. James Dillingham. It's a gentleman. Dillingham had been flung to the breeze, то есть как бы фраза была выброшена на ветер. Had been flung to the breeze during a former period of prosperity, then its possessor was being paid $30 per week. But now, when the income was shrunk, like contracting, to $20, they were thinking seriously to a modest and unassuming D. Okay, let's move on. What important words? Okay, let's move on. Della attend to her own cheeks. Cheeks. Attend. It's like you want to pay attention to this pair, like to catch it, to take it, and attend to her own cheeks with powder rag. And looked out. She came close to the window, and looked out dully at a grey cat walking a grey fence in a grey backyard. We can see that Henry liked to use repetition in words, colors, and action, like grey cats, grey backyards, grey. Della and once Della totally went into a bubble, but she only put herself there, not stay in a long time there, but only put. You have a thought of Jim's present. She wants something fine and rare and sterling. Okay, guys, let's talk a little bit about Della, because we already know a little information about apartment. We already know about information about it's not a rich family, but rich inside. After it, you will know why rich. How Della looked like. A very thin. Also, there is a synonym. There are synonyms like slim or slender, and as agile as squirrel. It's like comparison. То есть она была такая проворная, как белочка. As agile as squirrel. Move as fast as you can. Della had mastered the art by obtaining a very accurate conception of your look through PR glass. Master the art. She mastered this these skills by obtaining yourself through this peer glass. Um, in 19th century, there was a peer glass, and you can only obtain yourself through this line, and in order to look yourself like uh, fully, totally, you need to try to figure out the real degree from which you can look yourself through this peer glass. And this two young fellow took mighty pride of two possession. Dallas hair, Dallas hair, and Jim's gold watch, which had been his father's and grandfather's. No, yeah, no. It was like a legacy. It was like a legacy. Let's describe these things. How Dallas hair looked like. Uh, they were like a diamonds. Then they were like rippling and shining, ripple. Знаете, когда мы говорим о воде, то есть кинули туда камешек, и там такие как бы, как, как сказать, с английским забудешь русский. То есть волны такие отходят от воды. То же самое здесь, то есть волосы были вьющиеся такие. Rippling and shining like a cascade of brown water. Guys, one person interrupt me. We will continue. Okay, guys, I'm again here. sorry, please, sorry. Okay, continue. How Dallas hair looked like? Okay, we had already talked about it. Okay, let's move on. And on went her all brown jackets, on went her all brown hats, with whirl of skirts, brilliant sparkle in the eyes. She fluttered out of the door. We know after that where she stopped beside read Madame Sofronie. Hair goods of all kinds, Madame, large, too white, chilly, highly looked the Sofronie. Madame weighed out the mass with a practiced hands, saying $20. $20. Давайте я вам на русском скажу, потому что я думаю, у меня ребята слушают меня в основном на русском, у которых родной язык русский. То есть у нас говорится о вот этой мадам Сафрони. Вообще это описывается произведение как это француженка, но, кстати, в русском варианте, в переводе, вот этого нету, вот этого описания, вот этого колорита, вот это то, что large, то есть слишком большая, too white, белая, chilly, то есть такая какая-то то есть hard look, то есть тяжело выглядит как Сафрони, как действительно француженка, которая черная, которая такая thin, slender, with, but it looked like Soviet granny. I'm not, it's like a joke. I love Soviet granny because Soviet granny is the best granny in the world. And yeah, and $20, and yeah, and Della sell her hair without even any understanding because she need to buy something for her partner, but a little time in rest. Della said, "Give it to me quick," and the next 2 hours tripped by on rosy wings. And the next 2 hours tripped by on rosy wings. То есть это уже О. Генри придумывает выражение rosy wings, то есть крылья rosy wings, то есть крылья роз, как бы окрыленные такие, как раз, то есть the next 2 hours trip, то есть промчались, то есть пролетели на крыльях вот этих, такого вообще выражения устоявшегося нет в интернете, поэтому, да. She was ransacking the store, то есть ransake это она, то есть перебирала там все, то есть ransacking the stores for Jim's present in our harsh and meretricious ornamentation. То есть она игнорировала harsh, это, то есть if we try to find something really important to another partner, we don't pay attention to harsh and meretricious ornamentation. It means we don't judge thing by just by appearance. we try to open these things and try to judge it by substance. It's like, if you know a quote in English, like don't judge a book by its covers. The same things work with this in this way. Yeah, she was translating the story for Jim's present in nor harsh and meretricious ornamentation. She had torn all of them inside out. Torn all of them inside out. То есть вывернула все наружу. Torn all of them inside out. And finally get it. And what it was, and how this platinum chain looked like. What was the description of this platinum fab chain? Simple and chaste in design. Also, we can describe a person by these words, like, but very often, beside chaste, also use poor love, poor kindness, poor, то есть чистая, то есть simple and chaste in design, то есть простая и чистая в дизайне, то есть без этих всяких, то есть просто как бы берет своей вот этой не мишурой, а именно ценностью. Proclaiming its value by substance alone and not by meretricious ornamentation. The price of this chain was $21, and 87 cents was in the rest for Della. Guys, and from old leather strap, and when Jim was located in the place where he worked, he was very like distract, like very accurate watch what time is it, because leather strap, it wasn't glamorous, wasn't like, but now Della said that right now Jim would watch every minute, every second would look at this watch and would be proud. And these symbolic words, platinum fab chain was like Jim, quietness and value, with description applied to both. Quietness and value. То есть часы были настолько ценные, как Джим. То есть quietness, то есть и ценность их была высокая, и quiet, то есть они были такие спокойные и ценные, точно такие же, как и Джим. And after Della reached home, what I mean? Many people use words like reach. It's not about money, reach. It means that she was heading herself towards her apartment and reach home. We also use these words when we lie on the bed, when we try to get out of the bed and the alarm start to working out, and you try to reach over in order to turn it off. Reach over, то есть достигнуть этого. And her intoxication gave a little to prudence and reason. То есть как бы reason это как разум, а prudence это как благоразумие. То есть вот эти все эмоции, вот это все в ней как бы осадилось. И она, то есть благоразумие, она такая, так, стоп, а что с моими волосами? Я же даже не посмотрела. She tried to fix her hair. She got out her curling irons, lighted the gas, and went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity added to love. It's always a tremendous task, dear friends. A mammoth task. A mammoth. То есть как, вот опять же, на русском мамонт. То есть как mammoth task. То есть настолько тяжелый, как мамонта. Always a tremendous task. То есть сравнение тяжести идет как с мамонтом. And she gazed long into the mirror, long, carefully, and critically, and covering her head with tiny close-lying curls, probably like I have, maybe a little longer. I don't know, which made her look like a trying schoolboy. She said, if Jim doesn't kill me before he takes a second look at me, he probably said that I look like a Coney Island horse girl. And at this time, Della waited for Jim. Jim was never late. Della doubled with up chain in hands, but she turned white from, it's like from every step far away, her skin was covered with goosebumps, and it looked like a goosebumps on goosebumps. And she also had habits of saying little silent prayers. And Invan said, like, poor fellow, he was just only 22, and to be burdened with the family. And Jim probably didn't wait any surprise. It's like surprise move. Sorry guys, it's a literature word. But Jim stepped inside the door, and as immovable as a setter of the chain of a coil. То есть как гончая собака при виде the chain of a coil. Я уже забыл, как переводится. Если я не ошибаюсь, то как гончая собака при виде тетерева вроде, или chain of a coil. Ну, то есть, когда собака видит жертву, когда собака видит дичь, то она замирает. Ну, вот так же самое Jim. Like, with this eyes and with this emotion, like, yeah. And his eyes were fixed, without any movement, fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she couldn't read. And it terrified her, because it wasn't anger, it was not surprise, not disapproval, nor any of the sentiments she can identify. Yeah. And he simply stared at her fixedly with a peculiar expression on his face. Peculiar. British people like to use these words peculiar, as I said before. When we wouldn't like to say any bad words towards guys or partner or family or any of a person, he can say or she can say like it was peculiar. It was peculiar expression on his face. Tell of wriggle off the table. Wriggle off the table. Maybe and said, maybe the hair of my head were number. She went on with a sudden, serious sweetness. But nobody could ever count my love for you, dear Jim. And after it, Jim explained why Della had his going a while at first. And Della take this. It was like a box. Take it, watching it, and it was a set of cams, side and back, and from ecstatic scream of joy to hysterical tears and wails. It's like hard to understand because when a person wants something and after it she tried to do something else in order to... Ладно, ребят, не буду я отвлекать, а то сейчас тут подкаст будет у нас целый час идти. Я надеюсь, хоть один человек прослушает и скажет: Димас, ты красавчик, Димас молодец, продолжай, в том же духе. Спасибо, ребята, я верю в вас. Ради вас стараюсь, ну и ради себя, конечно. Я, честно, очень люблю вот изучать английский в таком формате, учить его. Просто не передать словами. Really, I have a sparkle in my eyes. And it's a key that I like this action. And let's then talk about description of the camps. It was a set of camps side and back. Della worship for long in a Broadway window. We can worship God, worship Mom, А worship это как бы worship, то есть она как бы worship, то есть она как бы, то есть смотрела через это Broadway window, то есть это большое окно, как бы через него смотрела, как витрина, смотрела и богословила его, то есть хотела это очень сильно. And it was like a beautiful calms, poor torture shell, то есть чистая черепаший панцирь, with jewel rims, с этими rims, то есть с алмазиками. Had it simply craft, то есть прямо сжимается, прямо craft and earn without the least hope of possession. Without the least hope of possession. And let's move on one more time about what quotes was which were used in this literature work. Life is made up of subs, sniffles, and smiles, with sniffles predominating. Another one looked out because author liked to use repetition in colors, words, and action. Looked out dully at a grey cat walking a grey fence in a grey backyard. As agile as squirrel, as you can use it when you are in a hurry for railway station. You are as agile as squirrel, то есть проворный как белочка. Went into a bubble or stay in a bubble, rippling and shining like a cascade of brown water. It can be used like a compliment to your partner, direct to a partner. Maybe your partner had this hair like a cascade of brown water, like rippling and shining. Also, you can use words like proclaiming his value by substance alone and not by meretricious argumentation. Yeah. Another one, Platinum Fab chain was like Jim, quietness and value, the description applied above. And went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity added to love. Another, two more, as immovable as a setter with chain of a coil. And the last one, maybe it's like a symbol of love. Maybe the hairs on my head the number, but nobody could ever count my love for you. Yeah. And like a conclusion, what can I say about this story, about this prehistory? To tell the truth, what can I say? What can I say? I already described it by history, because both characters demonstrate to love by sacrificing their most precious possession for each other. The story ending highlights the irony of their actions. Della buys a chain for Jim's watch, which he no longer has, while Jim comes for Della's hair, which she has cut off. However, as Henry notes, their willingness to give selflessly makes them wise, like the Magi who brought gifts for the Christ child. That's why, guys, be more kind in this world, because a lot of wars, a lot of fears, a lot of psychological things like depression, a lot of addiction like alcohol, like drugs, a lot of divorce with family. Have a nice day, guys. Ребятишечки вы. Что могу сказать? Ну, вот такая вот история получилась. Давайте прямо в камеру посмотрю вам, в глаза ваши. Вот такая история получилась. Получилось, наверное, на минут 40, но, надеюсь, получилось интересно. Если получилось много, то можете смотреть по кусочкам. Можете также прочитать текст. Я скину также и текст, там, где будут представлены интересные слова, интересные выражения. То есть, вместо того, чтобы листать ТикТок или заниматься какой-то фигней, можете послушать это. Я ни в коем случае не претендую ни на что, ни в коем случае не заставляю вас. Только ваше желание. Так что так. Всем удачи, всем хорошего дня. Берегите себя, берегите своих близких. Давайте, ребятки.